back, Truth Seekers. It's the midway point of the show. Just had one of my favorite callers phone in. He put his email out there. He's looking for people to connect with. I know he's serious because I think, honestly, I've been letting him down a little bit because I know he wants to communicate more with me. And sometimes him and I have talked, but I've just said, man, I don't have a lot of time right now. I mean, I'm trying to get my book done. I'm trying to do a million other things. My girlfriend says I don't spend enough time with her, so... You know, it's tough in this world. I mean, we're all so busy. I mean, that's one of the things. We're all scrambled. We're all trying to keep up. But I know he really wants to do something, and he's a great mind, and he wants to network. But as you hear, man, he's a talker. So when you talk with him, you know, you just gotta raise up your voice. Otherwise, he'll talk all night, man. He can talk for 2 hours straight, that guy. But all that comes out is brilliant. So I like listening. I'm sure other people do too. We got Jonathan with us, who's also brilliant. If you guys want to call in tonight, the phone lines are open. You can ask a question for Jonathan on his football research, me. The number's 213. Oh,
we got the best show. You know, you got the best show in the world. Man. You got an intelligent audience. You got the best callers in the world. I mean, this show is awesome. This show is awesome, dude. I just wanted to say it.
I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah, and some nights are better than others. And I can't hear myself when I'm talking, but I felt my first 30 minutes today were scrambled, but hopefully I was clear enough. But anyway, you guys want to call in tonight? 213-233-3998. 213-233-3998. I want to talk about this Tiger Woods story. I noticed something today that I'd never noticed before. We knew all this time that the name Tiger summed to 59. Years ago, I documented how it was a May 9th, a 5/9, that Tiger had his worst round ever. Tiger equals 59, Negro 59, Blues 59, Slave 59, Jigaboo 59, Motown Records came out in 59. What I just noticed today that I never noticed before is the name Woods in reverse ordinal is also 59. I was like, look at that. Tiger and Woods is 59. And then when I saw that he was back in the headlines today, August 9th, I said, oh my God, it's the 3-year anniversary of the Michael Brown shooting. And that's when I first started making YouTube videos. I'd been doing this research for almost a year at that point. I guess it had been a year at that point. I'd been doing it on the blog, on my Facebook page. And then the Michael Brown thing just made me want to put out a video. I just saw how this was racial propaganda, divisive propaganda, and learned a lot since then, but it was 3 years ago today, the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson, Missouri. And today we get these two headlines that are, you know, they're racial. Tiger Woods and the death of a young black daycare student. Daycare happens to sum to 42, like Ferguson, like Missouri, like the other numbers stamped on black people throughout history. But check this out with Tiger Woods, why this news story is coming today, 72 days after the May 29th tabloid propaganda about him being arrested for a DUI in Jupiter, Florida. Jupiter. Remember the whole Jupiter joke last year, the 4th of July, 2016? Anyway, from the May 29th DUI arrest to today, August 9th, the day Tiger's in the headlines about this court case, is 72 days later. And of course, we just had OJ in the courtroom by the numbers 2 weeks ago. But anyway, 72 days later, Eldrick Taunt Woods equals 72. And right away, just seeing the 72, it made me think of Michael Brown. Michael Brown equals 72. Last year, a year ago today, there was the story out about a documentary being made about Michael Brown. And if you go back and see my work on that, I used to have some videos on it that have been taken down, censored by Google. But that whole story was just all 72, 72, 72, 72. Then they put out this story of the daycare kid, and he's also, the 72 is coded on this story. Orlando, Florida, where it happened, equaled 72. But still, with Tiger Woods, check this out. The story today is his court case, or the next date he has to appear in court, has been moved to October 25th, 2017. That is 77 days from today. Court equals 77. 77 days from today, he's going to be in court. That's what the news story is about. From the DUI arrest, May 29th, to the court date, October 25th, is 149 days. 149 is the 35th prime number. Eldrick, his first name, equals 35. Tiger Woods' birth name is Eldrick Taunt Woods. And Eldrick, 35, is going to be in court on 10/25. 10 plus 25, 35. If you add the 2017 part, that's 35 plus 20 plus 17, which equals 72, just like how today's 72 days since the DUI propaganda. You know, this is what news by the numbers is. This is what racial shaming is. This is what's going on with Usher right now, too, with the herpes thing, which we'll get to. But I was looking for...
That's the
Go
thing.
ahead.
Florida's the hoax state. There's always some kind of a hoax going on around here. You know, like Trayvon Martin. That's a hoax. I mean, this is, the election. There's always some kind of hoax going on now. I live in Florida. Trust me. I know about this.
Well, who's in Florida? You know, you don't even need to say. Same people I was talking about at the beginning. People are scared to call out what this conspiracy is. Florida, it's probably the state that gets used more than any. It's probably also, outside of New York, the most Jewish state in the nation. Remember your 2000 election? Came down to Florida for a month before they said it was going to come down to Florida. And people can't...
the fake shooting in Orlando, Club Pulse.
Right.
The hoax, yeah.
All by the numbers. And that was, I wish my videos were still up. I'd tell people to go watch them. But I was looking for what it could be. I've been mentioning this for years. I've been saying there's some piece to 89 in this racially divisive propaganda. And now that we know these extra ciphers, I was looking for some possible 89s that would fit in. And I think there's something deeper than what I found. But both racial hatred and racially charged sum to 89. And this is a number I've been documenting for a long time about race war propaganda. And here we are on August 9th, 8-9, in another racially charged story. So it could be that right there, but there's probably something even deeper. There's some reason that they continue to put 89 in this propaganda. And just to go back, the day Tiger Woods was arrested, May 29th, that was 216 days after his birthday. And he shares the same birthday with LeBron James, which is December 30th, the only day of the calendar year where if you add the two numbers together, it sums to 42. There's no other month combo that does it. 12 plus 30 is 42, number stamped all over black people throughout history. Cleveland's the 216 area code. And I said to people when this happened, I said, this is another sign that LeBron, he might very well lose these finals because they're shaming another black athlete on his birthday, 216 days, just days before the NBA finals start, which is when this was.
That's why they're shaming Tiger, because a black man came and dominated a white sport. So now he has to go through the shaming ritual,
Right. He almost beat every golf record there was in a very short period of time. The golfer who still holds a few records ahead of him did it over a very long span of time. And Tiger almost took all those records as a young man. I mean, his career's been sabotaged for going on a decade now. Also, the day that they put out this DUI story, it was Memorial Day. Memorial Day sums to 181, which is the 42nd prime number, to bring us back to 42 again. So, is there any more you want to add on that? If not, I'll jump into this Usher Raymond herpes story.
Oh, yeah, just keep it moving, yeah. I want to hear about this.
So, Usher Raymond, since July 19th, has had public headlines, you could say, about him spreading herpes. Since July 19th on, there's been headlines out there about Usher, the musician, spreading herpes. He's 38 years old right now. 38. 38. We know this is a fateful number. We see a lot of celebrities off by 38. What it made me wonder, the word Prince equals 38, and Prince Hall Freemasonry has a lot of entertainers in it. I'm wondering if Usher's a part of Prince Hall. I'm going to get to that in a second. But check this out. He's 38. His 39th birthday will be this October 14th. From the day this news came out, July 19th, until his upcoming 39th birthday, Billboard equals 39. He's a Billboard musician. From the date of the news to his upcoming 39th birthday is 87 days. Usher's birth name is Usher Raymond IV. Usher Raymond IV equals 87. 87 days before his birthday, the shaming news. Now, I just had to go back and look at his history to see if there was any 87 there in his music releases, and I said, oh, he put out the album 8701 on August 7th. 8701 on August 7th, 8/7. I said, okay, 87's been relevant in his musical career. This makes sense that he gets shamed 87 days before his birthday. Here's where the gematria kicks in. Usher and herpes both have gematria of 35, 28, and 71. So all three of those numbers, there's overlap. Usher, herpes, 35, 28, 71. The word shaming has gematria of 71. So does Prince Hall. Prince Hall, which is Freemasonry for black men, typically entertainers. That's who the Masonic branch was originally opened for. I'm wondering if this is a Prince Hall shaming ritual he has to go through for his career success, because I think this is just par for the course for what so many of these celebrities go through, and there probably is a disproportionate ratio for black celebrities being shamed, right. But it really does happen to all celebrities, but probably most definitely disproportionate for black males. So here's Usher being shamed by spreading herpes, and the headlines say he spread it to 2 women and 1 man. So it's all, I don't know Usher's personal life, but if you read the headline, you can only assume that he must be bi. So also, the date that the rumor happened was a date with 43 numerology. STD equals 43. The rumor of him spreading the STD herpes. And I also saw the headline. Yeah, the headline, RIP's 43, right. The headline came out 43 weeks after he came out with his last album called Hard to Love. And I was just thinking about that. Hard to love, herpes. Hard to love the person with herpes. You know, I don't think any of this is a coincidence. And, you know, again, I mean, where is everybody at? Why don't people want to know gematria? It takes minutes to put this kind of information together when you're aware of this knowledge. And with the Gematrinator calculator that's out there that Derek built, I mean, anybody can do this. Yeah. The information I just read to you, the blog post I made from looking at the article, dissecting the numbers, the dates, I mean, the whole thing took me probably 8.7 minutes or less. And anyone could do just the same. I mean, this knowledge is quick once you learn the code.
Yeah. What I wrote only took me about a couple hours. I mean, once you know it, then it's nothing. It's just you just know it by instinct. Right.
Because the patterns are so redundant. I mean, once you know the patterns, it's like, oh my God, here we go again. Somebody just called in from Pennsylvania. The phone lines are the slowest they've ever been the entire time I've done this show. So I don't know. Maybe I gotta maybe people are forgetting about me because I'm not doing videos anymore. But let's go out.
Can you do videos?
Pennsylvania, are you there?
Somebody just called in from Pennsylvania. The phone line is the slowest they've ever been the entire time I've done this show. So
Pennsylvania, can you mute your radio? I hear you.
Let's go out. Can you do?
Pennsylvania, are you there?
Hello.
There you go. How you doing?
Hello. Hey, I'm doing all right. Good to hear from you once a week ever since your channel got taken down. I have a couple of questions for you. So I've been seeing 33s everywhere. I mean, every time I look at the clock, it's 33. I go pay for something at a store and it's 33, and I'm just seeing it everywhere. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or do you think that has some sort of significance in my life, or you think it's just
So this is what I've noticed, and a lot of people have noticed the same thing. It's really bizarre and it's hard to explain. There's something greater going on here. But so often, just to make a point, when I'm doing my research, when I'm writing about a number, when I'm doing a blog post about a certain number, when I'm really focused on a number, It's so weird. It's like the number will then just naturally manifest in my life. I'll get a phone call interrupting me at 2:27 in the afternoon while I'm writing about 2:27. And in the 4 years that I've been doing this research, I mean, those types of things have happened to me so many times. And then other people would come along who would learn from me, and then they would start reporting the same things happening to them. And then, so just from being able to observe, it's like, okay, there's something going on here. There's some sort of phenomenon here. But to say
it's like the literal Gematria Effect.
Right. So there's something going on, and I can't tell you exactly what it is, but what you're observing is not abnormal, and a lot of us are aware of it once we become aware. So right now it's 33 you're seeing. You might get focused on 52, and the next thing you know, a lot of 52 showing up, and it's hard to say exactly what all is causing that, but something's going on.
Yeah, I think maybe my number brain is just kind of kicking in now, and it's just like actually noticing numbers as something more than just, ways to count things, or, So maybe that's it. That made me feel a lot better. Also, one more question. So when you look at, like, the matches you get when you're using the Gematria, is there, like, significance to, like, if I type in my name and I get, like, certain matches, like, is that actually, like, have any significance, or is it just, like, sort of so you can, like, get, like, just, it's interesting to know what matches with your Gematria. Like,
yeah,
sorry,
don't base anything off it. Don't say that, oh, my name is the same as this. So many people will see that. They'll see that their name has the association with something terrible, and then they're like, oh my God, is there something wrong with my name? Remember,
I got
Trump. All of these numbers are dualistic. They have, everything's 50-50. There's a good and bad side to all of them. No number's purely evil, no number's purely good. It's all duality. And the more you look at these numbers, and the more the things that you see that are associated with them, each number should become less alarming, I would think, once you see the many connections each number has.
Right, like there's probably a late side of being at 33 too. I mean, I would think.
Oh, there's all sorts of nice things about 33. Absolutely. The word share has Gematria of 33. Justice has Gematria of 33, and so many other things. So, again, every number's got a good and a bad side.
Oh, great. All right. Well, I don't want to hold you up. You made me feel a lot better. Love your show. Can't wait for the book. And I'll call again sometime.
All right. I appreciate your questions. You have a good night, friend.
You too. Later, bud.
Anything you want to add there, Jonathan?
No, go ahead, run it.
Have you had any weird experiences with the numbers, or are they manifesting in your life somehow?
Yeah, well, like, what's weird is my sister, she's been seeing the number 1111 a lot. And as soon as she told me that, I started seeing the number a lot too.
Right.
It was weird. It was, and this has happened like about a week ago. She told me that. She made a comment on her YouTube channel, and then like right after that, I started seeing the number 11, and then I told her that, and she told me that it means that the number means that it's the call for action. That's what she told me. That means that it's time. It's time to do something. Is what she responded with.
That's interesting, but 1111, that's a phenomenon that a lot of people are aware of. That was I didn't even know what numerology was when I learned what 1111 was. I was 15 years old. It was like my first serious girlfriend, and she gave me the knowledge about 1111, and to her, it was whenever your eye caught the clock at that time, you made a wish because it was going to come true. That's what she told me. And it was the same thing. I mean, I'd never heard that before, and then next thing I know, when it was 11:11 on the clock, I was catching it more than. And I guess that does speak to it too. It just consciousness and awareness of things, makes it possible. If you've never heard it before, if you didn't know something was significant before, it might have never registered in the brain. But then once you're aware of it, then it sticks. So.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some people phoning in. We got another caller out in Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Kansas. We're going to get to all of your calls. Before I take the next call in PA, I just want to do one more of these news stories. We got about 6 minutes till the break. I want to talk about this story out of Orlando, Florida. Again, we got Tiger Woods coming out of Florida. Now we got a dead 3-year-old at the daycare out of Florida, and they put his picture up. Cute kid. He has a sad face, black kid. Obvious racial propaganda. Daycare equals 42. The headline that CNN has up sums to 211, which is the 47th prime number, and the child's name, which is Miles Hill, equals 47. So we got a headline that matches the child's name. Orlando and Florida both have Gematria of 38, like death, that fateful number. Again, Orlando, Florida 72, just like Eldrick Taunt Woods 72, just like Brown 72. Here we are on the 3-year anniversary of the death of Michael Brown. Now another tragedy for black youth. Michael Brown, I think he was 17 years old, if I remember correctly. This child said to be 3. Orlando, Florida also has that Gematria of 144, also a fateful number. And in CNN's reporting, they said that the van he was in when he died was 93 Fahrenheit. Well, 93, talk about a number for Black History. Black History Month equals 93, Malcolm X 93, Martin Luther King Jr. 93, Tuskegee 93, Rosa Parks' full name 93, and more. So, I mean, again, this is why you want to know the language of Gematria. I've been talking about these exact patterns for years. 42, 93, 59, sometimes 89. Here we are on August 9th, and we have 2 stories. Evening news, black faces in the news, Tiger Woods, this young boy, and both of these stories have these numbers, the exact same numbers stamped in the story. And it's all about racial programming, you know, because they are the same media.
Hey, can I say something about the number 89 right quick?
Please.
Okay, Amari Cooper, this is how they put it in the sports as well. Amari Cooper, the star wide receiver that plays for the Raiders, is from Miami. He played with Teddy Bridgewater in high school. They played at the same high school. Miami Northwestern equals 89 full reduction and 98 single reduction. Amari wears a number 89, and it's the 98 season of the league. So I just wanted to throw another 89 in there.
That's a good observation. Yeah, and with football, that Ryan Tannehill injury was the same. By the way, we were talking about the NFL earlier this year. For the first time that I'm aware of, they had the Hall of Fame game on a Thursday. They had it on Tom Brady's birthday, which was the same day that they announced Ryan Tannehill is out for the season, who the Cowboys beat 46 years ago. Patriots equals 46 and a few other things. Big Tom Brady number. Well, we'll talk more about it later this year. I just want to throw that in there real quick about the Miami football news. But real quick, let's take this call in Pennsylvania before the break. See what's on Frank's mind. I think this is Frank calling in. How are you, Frank?
Yeah, bro, that's right. It's Frank.
What's going on, dude?
Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, I am. Hey, I wanted to call in, like, in case that we actually did, I guess, launch some sort of, like, I don't know, movement, like, if that day did come. Like, let's say, like, you know, I know that you're fishing on your book, so, like, what's the plan with this book thing? I mean, they just 86 your, you know, YouTube channel, and, you know, I'm, you know, that's just a signal there that, yeah, like, you know, the video thing, you know, it's kind of run its course right now. But once you get the book finished, like, you know, like, how are you going to exactly distribute it? You know, the internet or something?
The book's going to be available everywhere you can buy books this day and age. And if you want to get a copy straight from me with an autograph, that'll be available too. A lot of people are asking for that. I'm telling you guys, I have horrible handwriting, so you won't be impressed by my signature. But for all of you who really want a little personal message, I'll be doing that. I'm just going to get the book out every avenue possible. And what happens after that's going to be dictated by what happens with the book. If the book doesn't sell, I'm losing my voice here for a second, but I've been doing this for 4 years straight, man, and I like I've said, I can only do this for so long, and eventually I have to start making an income again, like everyone else does. But if the book doesn't sell, it's not like I'm just going to disappear. But I'm going to have to figure out a way to start paying the bills again. So that's where I'm at in life. If the book sells, if money comes in, then it's like I said, I want to get the book tour together. I want to get the word out. I want to be speaking out. I want to be traveling to cities where all these false flags go down and get the word out on the street at the spot. Start making some street documentaries, get some live streaming on the street. There's a lot of things I want to do, but it's only going to happen if there's support. And honestly, I mean, the signs of support out there, they're not too optimistic. So that's what I'm going to find out when the book comes out. We'll see who's really out there, who's willing to support.
Well, I would say, my suggestion would be like, I don't know like who you talk to really, but I would just, not bother like, talking to conservatives if that's why, because, they're not rational. I mean, like who do you like when you do reach out to people, like, who do you talk to? Like, do you talk to more, liberal? Because you once said that where you live, it's kind of pro-liberal for the most part.
Frank, it's going to commercial. I'm going to keep you over the break, and we'll answer the question when you come back.
All right, thanks.
See, because it's the final hour of the show already. We got Jonathan with us. We got Frank on the line. We got callers in Massachusetts and Kansas on hold. And we're going to get to some more stories from the past week, some murder by numbers. Frank, who's called in a few times this year, and I see what's on his mind. What's on his mind is the people he has encountered since speaking out and since Donald Trump became the president. And I know Frank's had some encounters with some conservatives back in his home state, Pennsylvania, that he really doesn't care for. And let me get Frank off hold here so he can respond. But he asked me when I finished my book, who am I going to try to speak out to? Who am I going to speak out to who's smart enough and willing enough to receive the message? And it is a good question. Who I'm going to speak out to is who's ever willing to listen. What I'm hoping will happen is enough books will sell that I can financially put together a tour and travel from city to city and speak where people are willing to come and listen, learn the knowledge.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, so
that's going to make it happen,
cool.
Trust me.
And who's ever willing to come to that's what I'm going to speak to. But, I mean, in terms of speaking to liberals and conservatives, the way the political demographic is labeled and divided up, which, liberal, Democrats, conservative, Republicans, pretty much the way it works in the U.S. I hear what Frank's saying. He's saying, these Republicans, these conservatives, they're the dumbest people ever. Don't even waste your breath on them. And there's people listening who are probably offended by that. But look, I mean, look at what the Republican legacy is right now. Right now you have the apprentice pussy grabber. Who do you have before that? You have the crackhead son of a former president. Then you have the father of the crackhead, who's not that smart himself, who was vice president to the Hollywood actor who was senile, who all the Republicans think is the greatest president there ever was, Ronald Reagan. And what was the first thing Ronald Reagan did when he became president? A lot of people don't know this, but Ronald Reagan's first action as president was to remove the solar panels from the White House that Jimmy Carter put there, the president before him. And, I mean, look at what your Republican Party is. The Republican Party stands for just a very small group of issues, the same recycled issues. They're ready to go to war with everyone. Mm-hmm. They all believe in God. They're all Christians. It's all about oil. Everything for oil, drilling, to create oil contracts, oil prices. And taxes for me, and big tax breaks for people with a lot of money, and almost meaningless tax breaks for everybody else. I can't remember what it was, but George W. Bush, when he was president, he had everybody sent a tax return check. Just think about that. Everybody in the country was sent a letter. So there's a stamp on all of these, and almost all of us got, like, who were taxpayers then. I forget what it was, but it was like literally $1.53 or something. I got a check from the federal government for $1.53. And I just thought, how wasteful is this? Everybody in the nation's getting a check like this for like $1. I mean, this stuff is a joke. And for anyone to still support the Republican Party for all that they've stood for the last 30 years, I mean, it's just how brain dead are these people? Your party stands for nothing. They're completely bankrupt. They're completely sold out. They're completely corporate tyrants. They're warmongers. There's just nothing positive there.
But the Democrats ain't no better.
But exactly. But then at the same time, the Democrats are like these spineless wimps that cannot defeat this party that should be so easily defeated. That just puts the dumbest people at the head of their party. So the Democrats, if you turn on C-SPAN and watch the Congress, you're going to puke a lot less when the Democrats speak, because at least some of the Democrats will say things that are sensible and, oh, okay, that has some value. There's somebody with some integrity. But it's all a show. Yeah. And, that's part of the show, to have the people with the more righteous voice, even though a lot of the times the Democrats are way off point too. But the people with the more righteous voice, they're made to look like wimps and insignificant and that they can't stand up for themselves. And there's something second tier to the Republicans. And again, just because this is the Gematria Effect, let's not forget the Gematria behind these party names. Republican equals 47. Democrat equals 47. Government equals 47. White House 47. President 47. Authority 47. DC 47. 47, the degrees on the Freemason compass. This is all a show. Washington, D.C. is the headquarters of the federal government. D.C. is also the home of the ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry for North America. It's all a planned puppet show. It always has been. Anybody who tells you that we need to go back to 1776 doesn't know what they're talking about, because this nation has always been a Masonic corporation for agenda, for war, for the elites, and for no one else from the beginning. I mean, that's what the history of this country is. So I'm speaking to anyone who will listen to that and think about that and let that resonate and let that sink in and realize that is the truth. And how many people are willing to listen to that? That's what we're going to find out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, one thing that you said about the Republicans that I agreed with, like I'm sure that, that you probably ran into your fair share of these people that, I can only assume that that neighbor of yours that ripped you off, was I'm pretty sure he's a Trump supporter, was he?
I don't know, but yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, judging by his, like what you told me about him, he fits the criteria. But anyways. When you said that, well, there are these toothless people that can't stand up for themselves. But, just look, like, a lot of them, like, they act tough. Like, what you said to me the last time I called them, that, yeah, the Democrats, like, they, I've always, jumped down Democrats' throats or liberals' throats for being, softies. But it's like, the conservatives, like, they're kind of softies too, but except they act tough, on the outside. Like, they masquerade as these tough dragons, but they're just, but they're not going to like do anything, actionable, in an extreme way at the end of the day. Because let me tell you a story. Of course, like Pittsburgh, it's mostly Democratic. Like they said that Pittsburgh voted for Hillary Clinton mostly, but the little town that I unfortunately was sent to, which was Shiloh, it's very pro-conservative. Growing up with these conservatives and, and of course, being a minority and bullied by them, like at the same time, yeah, it sucks that, I grew up in such a miserable upcoming from that. But at the same time, I kind of saw it as kind of like a blessing in disguise, like knowing how these people click. See, these people will only go after soft people to make themselves seem tough. But when they're put up against someone, like someone like me, that's been, hard enough from taking their crap over the years. When they go up to someone potentially, that is a threat to them, it's like they that's it. Like they're done. Like in the inside, their blood, their blood. I don't even know how to put it. Their blood.
Their blood pressure rises. They can't handle it. They can't handle being confronted.
Yeah. Yeah, and the tail goes between their legs, and and then they wish you out on the inside, Like, let me tell you one story. This, one of my conservative, well, he was never really a friend, he was just kind of like a fake friend, let's say. he was saying that he was saying like at this bar, and then he gets a call from like this other friend from another bar, and he's saying that yeah, we gotta go back up our friend and fight these guys. They come back, to the bar that I was sitting at, because they went to leave and I just stayed at the bar that I was having a good time at. They come back to the bar and they were like, they said, oh, well, well, they were kind of like, too powerful for us to take on. See? And my friends, and his group of friends, like, they try to act like these hard asses and everything, but I noticed that, throughout, time, they go after soft targets. See, that's the average conservative for you, right there. Like,
I agree,
and I would like to, I would have to say, like, they share similar traits to the Zionist Jewish elite, because you said, before in your videos that that's what they are. Like, they like to, put down everybody else, but then it's done back to them, and then, then when someone potentially threatening comes back to them, they, play victim like they're the ones, that need to,
right.
that everyone needs to feel sorry for.
Right, and when I ranted about that in that video that you're talking about, I also said, our whole nation's been raised by this Jewish media, and pretty much the whole nation's that way. We live in a nation of people who like to talk a lot of crap, but can't take the slightest thing back. They just melt down. They all break down. It's just, we're such a weak society. We're such a hypocritical society. It's just, we got to change, man. We got to reprogram. We got to break the programming that's upon us. We got to break our culture. This whole society has to be reset. Frank, I still got a number of headlines to get through, brother, and I got to take some more calls. You got any last word before we part ways?
Okay. Well, judging from the amount of hell that the system's put me through, if we ever get to purge these times out of power, I'll put a hood on them so bad the mother's going to wish they kept their legs closed.
All right, brother. You have a good night, Frank. You take care, man.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Frank, man, he's someone who woke up about 2-3 years ago, if I remember correctly, and he's been trying to speak out, and he's just been getting frustrated because he's getting so much flack for speaking out, and that's something that's got to change about our society.
But you know what? I admire the way Frank thinks.
Right,
I like that. You're right. It's just like you're right. It's just a reprogramming. That's what we have to have. There's no other way around.
Yeah, we got to, man. Look, I'm not on here to rep Hitler, but you can find Hitler's speech about the American people and about how the TV or the media back then, the culture back then, before TV, just the U.S. culture through the radio and papers, it was just teaching a nation to have bad values and be bad people and be against each other. And, he's speaking about all these things. We say that this is the most evil man who ever lived. I'll tell you what, if you listen to the words he spoke, especially when he talked about our nation, it's just like, yeah, exactly right. And here we are all these years later, and it's even worse. It's even more disgusting. So,
I agree. I've listened to his speeches.
Yeah, he's not the most evil person there ever was. And what it really looks like is he was just another New World Order puppet. That's why they never found his body at the end of the war. Another convenient excuse, dead at 56 in April, just like Lincoln, and has the war blamed on him. Let's go out to Massachusetts. How's it going, man?
Good to talk to you, man. Good. Yeah, I want to share with you some research I've been doing on Benjamin Franklin. So his mother was a Abiah Folger, so part of the Folger Coffee Company.
Huh.
And then he had a sister her name was Bathsheba Folger, and she was married to this guy named Joseph Pope, who was at the center of the Salem witch trials, which I think was a hoax too. And then her other sister married the Pratt family, which is the Mormons and George Bush, Mitt Romney. All those guys are part of the Pratt clan, I guess. So I've been discovering some fascinating stuff with the genealogy, and in fact, I've traced a lot of Franklin's lines back to like the English peerage, like all these kings and queens and knights, barons, and it's like if all the founding fathers are essentially descended from the top ranks of the British peerage, it just goes to show you that the revolution was probably just faked and all a show,
Right.
Like you're saying, it's, and, I guess to talk about Tiger Woods a little bit, it seems like everything's planned out in advance. Like he's born into it. He's on TV when he's 3 years old with Bob Hope, Jimmy Stewart, and, playing golf. And then,
right.
What he got, like $40 million contract with Nike, $20 million with, was it Titleist, I think, or before he even won a tournament. It's like, it just seems like it was a project, and
right.
It makes you
and that's
think,
what it
like,
is. That's exactly what it is. That's what's going on in the world of sports. These men are born and bred to be. It's not what we're told. I mean, this is planned. This is coordinated. These people are named accordingly. And this is what people need to know. I mean, this stuff, when you really think about just how dishonest this is and what it is for humanity, it's just awful. How many children in this world are told that they're living in this free country, and if they work hard, they can achieve, they can be these stars. I mean, so many kids, so many children have these dreams in their head, and they're all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's unbelievable. And, I guess I was reading about his maternal grandfather owned a tin mine in Bangkok, and he was half Dutch, so he was a really wealthy industrialist. And the Dutch East India Company had a monopoly on tin in Siam back in the 1600s. So it's just like, it goes to show you all these people are from incredibly wealthy families.
Right.
And then
Industry.
They kind of cloak their identities, try to scrub their genealogies, but
right.
There's still public records and all sorts of things that you can go to obituaries to research that type of thing. And I think that would be a great way to wake more people up. I mean, I wish more people could just get into the gematria. I mean, it's been fascinating to me, and I was into it even before I understood anything about conspiracy stuff. And back in college, I found this interesting book about how these Jewish musicians like made or composed music based on the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. I guess there's 22 Hebrew letters altogether, and there's 7 notes in like a major scale, like do, re, mi, and so they would assign each Hebrew letter with a note from the scale, and they would do the scale 3 times, making 21 letters and 21 notes, and then the last letter was supposed to be like represent some sort of divine, God spirit thing. But it was interesting to me that I found a book about that, and I wish I could find it again. But it's just like this occulted knowledge that few people have access to. Like, why can't they teach that stuff in public schools instead of like you say?
Because then we'd actually know something. That's the thing. They give us all this knowledge that's almost useless. And really, I know that it's all by design to make us hate learning, because almost everybody by the time they graduate or drop out hates learning. They don't want to open another book. They've learned enough. They're sick of it. And it's because of the whole way the education system's designed to put you through this stressful process that doesn't have much meaning to your life. And learning doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah. And it's almost like seems like the subjects they call specials, are the most important ones for the kids, like
sure,
gym, music, art, computers.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the stuff is half propaganda, if not
Man,
more.
it makes me so sick. It was 10 years ago I started really fighting and arguing back and want to do something for future generations. It's just so sick, this world we live in, man. I can't believe the child obesity epidemic and just everything going on. I mean, children. It's a really bad time to be a child right now. There's just so many obese child. The world's so messed up. There's so much poisonous propaganda on the TV. The quality of entertainment's so bad. The music's so awful. It's just. I mean, we gotta. Those of us who are awake and adults gotta step up and do something. I mean, and not only that, it's like yeah, man. Look at these kids. I mean, it's pretty much fashionable to be a homosexual. I mean, that's what kids are pretty much showing.
Yeah, because that's what they shove down your throat.
It's just all so sick, man. Once upon a time, I was wrong. I used to tell people, "Oh, there's no gay agenda, man. You guys are tripping out."
But you know what they do now? What these rappers do now is they'll come out and say that they're gay just to promote their album.
Right.
That's what Tyler, the creator, he just came out with an album called Flower Boy, right? and he's probably not even gay. I don't know if he's gay or not, but I'm just saying. He came out right before the album came out. He was talking about how he was gay, and that created a controversy. And then the album came out, and he just did it just to sell records.
Yeah, it's just exactly, man. It's fashionable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Sorry, Massachusetts. We took you off your train of thought. You got any more?
Oh, one other thing. George Bush is the ninth cousin of John Kerry. And you mentioned that Tiger Woods got arrested in Jupiter, Florida, and that I guess Jupiter Beach is this very exclusive area in Florida that the Bush family owns a lot of property in.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose other people do too, but it's an interesting tidbit I thought I'd share. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could go on forever, but yeah, it was great calling in and talking to you, man.
I appreciate your call. You had great information.
Yeah, I've got a small YouTube video or YouTube account. I don't have much on there, but my name's Tim Bornman on YouTube. Got the anti-33, logo. But
oh yeah. Thank you, man. I've seen some of your videos. Cool.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. But cool, man. Well, thanks. Great
all right, brother.
You guys, and yeah.
Thank you.
Catch
Call
you
us
later,
back
man.
soon, man. You have a good night.
I will. You too.
All right, take care.
All right.
We got about 4 minutes till the break. We got callers on the line. I'm going to take you after the break so we don't have to rush. Just in case you have a few thoughts on your mind, we're going to go to Kansas and then California after the break. Going into the break, just again to make my point, we had Aaron Carter, former musical celebrity, comes out as bisexual. Front page story on CNN. I said, I bet you anything the word bisexual, whatever the gematria of it is, I said, I bet you it's going to be the exact amount of days from his birthday that the word bisexual is. And I was right. Again, I mean, that's just how it is with this gematria research. Once you just realize what your news is, it's just the same thing. Every single headline, all of these stories are manufactured. All of these celebrities coming out, they're just fulfilling their script. Bisexual happens to equal 123, like conspiracy, 123 days from his birthday. He comes out as bisexual. So,
but they're being told what to do. They're being told what to do on a specific day, so all the numbers can match up.
Right, and also our other common conspiracy number besides 123 is 51. One of the first things I learned, back in 2013, that was one of the first things I learned was that conspiracy equaled 51 and federal. And I thought Area 51, conspiracy, federal. I said, that cannot be a coincidence. And almost everyone that I talked to about that was just one of the first things I knew. Everyone said, oh, that's just a coincidence. Almost everyone who I knew just said that to me. I was just like, really? You think that's a coincidence? I said, what do you think Area 51's named after then? And people would say, I don't know. I'd say, well, you don't think that this could be it? And they just say no. I mean, that's just what I hate about the people in our society. It's just like they don't know anything, but they just have these like certain opinions that certain things could ever happen. Our government could never attack us on 9/11. Why would they do? I mean, it's just I don't know what's wrong with people, man. But Aaron Carter coming out as bisexual by the numbers, just like everything else in your headline. everything. You know, I saw somebody made a video for me recently trying to compliment me, and it was mostly complimentary, but at the end they said, I want to let you know, though, that Zach says everything in the news is fake, and I don't think that. I think a lot of things are real, but some things are fake. I'm just saying, well, this person hasn't been paying attention long enough, man. You guys show me where the real news story is.
It's all fake.
Yeah,
100% of it is fake.
Yeah, what's real in the news? I mean, if they were ever going to pick up on a real story, it would only be because it was convenient to them and it fit into the narrative they were already trying to force down everyone's throat. But this news is so manufactured day after day that is what people need to take away. And listen to somebody upload a video and give me, just to do a shout out. There's not many of those out there. Most of the videos made about me are attacking me. But I thought, why's he got to say this at the end of the video that he thinks I was just like, man, you need to apply this gematria more, even though you're doing a shout out, man. Show me where the real news story is. I haven't seen one the whole time I've been here. Who else has been decoding the news every day for 4 years straight? Where's the real news story? All of these stories are bogus, whack, and by the numbers. And that's just, I still can't believe how many people try to argue and deny this. I mean, have you ever seen anyone do 15,000 experiments for 4 years straight and prove the experiment correct every single time? I mean, where's the doubt at? Where is the doubt?
That's what gematria is, what provides the scientific proof that this is real.
Right. This is empirical evidence. It can be observed. It can be proven. It can be tested.
There's no way around it. Right.
We'll be right back, everybody. We got a half hour left. We're going to do death by numbers. Jonathan's here. We're going to take 2 calls. 30 minutes left. Stay tuned.